Welcome back to another class on Gemara Journey with Rashi. We are in Masechet Berachot Daf amud bet. This will be part 1 for side 2 of Daf Daled. Before we begin today's class, I want to just go over a few points that I don't think I clarified it well enough in the previous class. And they are like this. We had mentioned before where the Gemara said, "V'chol aver al divrei chachamim chayav mita." Anybody who transgresses the words of the rabbis, he's chayav mita. He is liable to the death penalty. Meaning, HaKadosh Baruch Hu can punish him by death. Now, just have that in mind. When I say chayav mita, understand that a person is liable to get punished by death. When we look at this statement, it's a very frightening statement only because if a person goes ahead and he eats a bug, for example, right, you don't wash the vegetable properly, you eat a bug, you get malkut, which are lashes. If a person shaves with a razor, he gets malkut, which are isurim. These are prohibitions from the Torah. But why when it comes to the words of the Chachamim, automatically they say chayav mita? Now, like I explained in the previous class, there are different ways to understand it. But if we're going to take the words of the Gemara as face value, where a person is punishable chas v'shalom by death, we need to understand how severe this statement is. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, we don't take the words of the Chachamim seriously. We take more the words of the Torah seriously. For example, a person is more likely to keep the first day of Yom Tov and not the second day of Yom Tov. Because the second day of Yom Tov is what the rabbis enacted. So people say, why do we have to keep the second day of Yom Tov? If in Israel they don't keep it, why do we have to keep it over here? Because in reality, it is a weekday. It's just Chachamim made it as a Yom Tov. And we have to follow their words. So it comes out that a person who's going to desecrate Yom Tov, he's Chayav Mitah. He will be punished by Hashem by death. For what? For not keeping the second day of Yom Tov. If he wouldn't keep the first day of Yom Tov, he wouldn't get the death penalty. Over here, we're going to give him death. Understanding how important it is for us to follow the words of the Chachamim. Let me go one more step further. You tell a person, bless, right? Why don't you bless Shakal Niyabadwaro? He says, for what? The rabbis enacted this bracha. As we see later on, they made a kal v'chomer from Birkat HaMazon. We'll see another Bezrat Hashem as we go on in Masechet Berachot. The rabbis are the ones that enacted this bracha. It's not from the Torah. Even Birkat HaMazon is not from the Torah. The essence of Birkat HaMazon is from the Torah, meaning the words ve'achalta ve'savata u'varachta, but the nusach, but the text of Birkat HaMazon is not from the Torah. It's from the rabbis. A person says, the rabbis enacted, I don't want to say Shakal Niyabadvar. I don't want to say B'rei Nefashot. I don't want to say no before blessing, and I don't want to say no after blessing. But one second, did the rabbis institute these blessings? Yes. You don't want to say it. Why? Because the rabbis instituted it. For such a small sin, which is not small, but for such a small sin, why am I saying it's not small? Because the Gemara says anybody who eats or drinks without first blessing Hashem, he's a thief. He's stealing from Hashem. So you're a ganav. Anyway, for such a sin, by not blessing before and after, because you want to say it's the rabbis are the ones that enacted this enactment, chayav mitah. Hashem is going to kill him through death. He's going to take his life. Rabotai, you have any idea what just happened? A person to be punished, one second, but you're not sleeping with a woman, you're keeping Yom Kippur, you're not eating that kosher, you're going, you're doing everything right, you're good at heart. But you don't want to say the bracha. Chayav mitah. When the Chachamim tell us something, whenever you see something written in the Shulchan Aruch, or you see what our Chachamim teach us, if something's not allowed, it's not allowed. So you think, Rabbi, how bad could it already be? Chayav mitah. You transgress over the words knowingly, chayav mitah. This is how severe this can go. Again, there are many rabbinical enactments that the Chachamim made. A lot of the Torah is from the rabbis, but it's based off the Torah. They did it for our benefit to protect us, like over here. They made fences, like over here. you should say Shema by Chatzot, because we don't want you to we don't want you to go and forget about the Kriya Shema. How am I going to forget about Kriya Shema? Very simple. You're going to think you have time. You're going to say, let me go home. Let me eat a little, drink a little, sleep a little. Before you know it, already is daybreak. So you just passed over the whole time. But Chachamim, from, let's say 12 o'clock is Chatzot, till 6 o'clock is the morning, but there's 6 more hours. Why are you guys so afraid? Because that is the power of sleep. When a person falls asleep, it's able to overpower him completely. The Chacham, they don't even want to bring you closer, so they made a fence. 6 hours earlier, don't play games. Don't play games. So this is what I want to emphasize today. When the Gemara says, V'chol o ha'over al divrei chacham chayav mitah, anyone who transgresses the words of the rabbis, he is chayav mitah. That means he will be punishable by death through HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It is going on every rabbinical enactment. You don't understand, Rabotai. By the Torah, you won't have this. By Torah, you can have capital punishment if you desecrate Shabbat, and so there's, or if you Chas V'Shalom slept with a married woman. But other averot in the Torah where there are malkut or there are fines, it's not so bad by being punishable by death. But the rabbinical, everything across the board is punishable by death. So in summary, what I'm saying is like this. There are sins that if a person does from the Torah, some are punishable by death, some are punishable by lashes, some are punishable by other things, but it's not all by death. But over here by rabbinical enactment, everything is by death. So we have to understand, we have to be very, very careful when the Chachamim say something for us to do. For example, a person told me, Rabbi, I don't daven Arabit. I'm too lazy to. I know I have to daven. Again, everything that I'm saying is not that you don't know or it's unintentional by accident, right? Everybody, you know and you still don't go and do it. You do it davka. Intentionally, you know and you don't do it. A person says, Rabbi, I know Arabit, I have to daven. I know, listen, I go shacharit, I try mincha. Arabit, I know, but listen, the rabbis enacted. The Gemara does it, like we saw that there's an opinion that says that Arabit is really optional. We don't hold that today. We hold Arabit is obligatory, even though it's really optional. There's times when we'll allow you not to daven Arabit when a person is oisik b'mitzvah. This is not the class for that. I'm just trying to bring out a point. The person tells that I don't want to daven Arabit, Rabbi, because the rabbis enacted it. Fine. You don't want to daven Arabit because the rabbis enacted it? You should know your punishment is chayav mitah. What do you mean? I learn Torah, I daven shacharit, I daven mincha, I put on tefillin, I don't cheat on my wife, I keep Yom Kippur, I keep Beit Yosef, Chalav Yisrael, Kamei Chashan. Chayav mitah for what? For that. For not wanting to do a rabbinical enactment. That's what you chayav mitah for. This is very, very important. Because we see this a lot. That was the first point I wanted to bring out. The second point is, when the Gemara asks the question, what difference is there that in every other place you didn't teach this concept of chiyuv mitah by other mitzvot, which are only rabbinical? But why over here you taught chayav mitah? Why? Why by other rabbinical mitzvot you won't see it about by other rabbinical mitzvot that if you don't keep Yom Tov Sheni, you chayav mitah? It doesn't say that there. We know it's chayav mitah, but it doesn't say that there. How come it doesn't say? But over here by Shema it does say it. So Rabotai, I want to make two things clear in this one point. First point is, when it says over here, "My shena b'chol duchti, the lo katani chayav mitah," what difference is there that in every other place it didn't teach chayav mitah? It doesn't mean to say that there is no chayav mitah by other rabbinical enactments. There is. It's just it didn't teach it over there. But there is. That's point number one. And point number two, I want to show you something very fascinating. Why did it have to teach over here chayav mitah and not by any other mitzvah, even though it's applicable by any other mitzvah? So, Rabotai, what does the Gemara answer? Mishum de'ika oneshena. If you want, I'll say because over here by Shema, there is oneshena, there is the shena sleep is going to overcome a person. If you look into Rashi's words, Rashi says, Mishum onesh because of sleep overcoming him, hatokafto is going to overpower him. Lavor al divri chachamim. Stop. Who's going to overpower you to transgress the words of the Torah, the words of the chachamim? The sleep, not you. If it's the sleep and not you, that's why it says, "Huskakula has hiro yuter." That's why they were in need to warn you much more by Shema case. Our case over here, more than any other mitzvah. Let me explain. When a person comes home from work and he says, let me go home, let me eat a little, let me drink a little. What happens? A person wants to sleep a little. Food makes us tired. But when you sleep a little, do you want to go back to shul or you want to sleep for the night? You don't want to go back, you don't want to go to sleep for the night. You want to go back to shul. The Gemara says, let me eat a little, sleep a little. One second, let me find the language. Here. Elech, let me go home from work. Ve'ochal kim, I'll eat a little. Ve'eshte kim, I'll drink a little. Ve'yishan kim, I'll sleep a little. Ve'achar kach ekra krishma ve'etpala. And afterwards I will say Shema. And I will daven Shemona Esrei. So you see clearly, you want to go down with Shemona Esrei. But what is the problem? You can't go down with Shemona Esrei. Why can't you go down with Shemona Esrei? Why can't you go down with Kriyas Shema? Very simple. Why? Ve'chotfato sheina. Because sleep is going to overcome you, it's going to grab you. V'nimtza yashen kol alay. Comes out that you sleep the whole night. So over here, by the mitzvah of Shema, reciting Shema before Chatzot, do you know why the Chachamim instituted that before Chatzot? Because the Chachamim said, we know how it works. People are going to come home from work, they're going to eat, they're going to drink, they're going to say, let me sleep a little, but they do want to go to daven still. But the problem is the sleep is going to overcome them. It's not that they're doing that very knowingly. No, it's the sleep. Oh, the Chachamim said not to have this problem. That we want to even go, basically, in a way they're putting a fence on the sleep business. We don't want even sleep to come close to you. So that's why they tell you first you have to go to the shul. Go learn, say Shema, Shemona Esrei, and then come home, eat, and then do Birkat Hamazon. Just the opposite. Listen to this carefully now. With this in mind, listen to this. Comes out like this. If I have over here a cup of water, what is the difference between these two cases? If I have over here a cup of water, where I don't want to bless on it, for example, let's say I don't want to bless on it. Chachamim made it. I don't. Why should I say the bracha? Well, it says in the Torah you have to say Shakol Yibudvar. It doesn't say no in the Torah. That's how people speak, correct? Rabotai, if over here I don't want to do the mitzvah of blessing on the cup of tea, versus falling asleep and not saying Shema, are two different ball games. Why? When it comes to every other mitzvah, you have the capability to want to do it or not want to do it because you are awake. But when it comes to sleep and Shema, that's not in your hand. That's why the Gemara is saying, why in every other place, by other mitzvot, the Chacham didn't have to tell you Chayav Mitah? Very simple, there's a very big difference. And why over here they had to tell you Chayav Mitah? Very simple. Over here you are dealing with sleep which is going to overcome you. Over there you have the capability. You are awake enough to be able to make the right decision. You're not sleeping. That's why in every other mitzvot the Chacham didn't tell you Chayav Mitah. There was no need for it. Because you have to make the right decision. You have to say, I want to do what the Chachamim tell us. Because they are the ones that Hashem brought down to them, to us. Hashem gave down Torah to Moshe Rabbeinu to the Zekei, Yehoshua, and so on and so forth. One after another, Rabotai. And that's how the traditions passed down to us. But everything, Rabotai, starts from HaKadosh Baruch. So whatever the rabbis tell us, it's really Hashem speaking directly to us. So you have to be able to make that right decision. But when I go home and I want to eat, drink, and sleep a little with the intention to go back to shul and say Shema and daven Shemona Esrei, that's not going to happen. Not I don't want to, I want to. But sleep is going to overcome me. Oh, sleep is going to overcome you? Come to Chazal, and Chazal say, you know something? We don't want you playing with sleep. Sleep is a dangerous thing. Sleep is fire. When it comes to mitzvot and Shema, the mitzvah of Shema and so on and so on, listen, come from work, go straight to the base measures, go to the synagogue, learn Torah, do what you have to do, say Shema, daven Shemona Esrei. When you finish, go home, eat, and then whatever you want, go bench, and then go to sleep, whatever you want to do. Because the Chachamim knew that by the mitzvah of Kriyas Shema, there is a force that by every other mitzvah you don't have, which is what? Sleep. Sleep can make us miss the Zman of Kriya Shema. So that's what Rabotai, that's what the Gemara says. If you want, I'll say like this. Why by every other mitzvah it doesn't say Chayav Mitah, but why by the mitzvah of Shema it says Chayav Mitah? Because we're dealing over here with sleep. Sleep is able to overcome you. And we don't want that to happen. That's why they said Chayav Mitah, to emphasize it more that people shouldn't take it lightly. Okay. That is point number 2. Rabotai, point number 3 comes out from me like this. What are we dealing over here with? Right now, what are we dealing over here with? We're dealing over here with that a person has an obligation to say Kriya Shema before Chatzot and not to rely until Amud HaShachar, until Rambam Gamliel's time, which is by Amud HaShachar. Listen to this. Comes out like this. A person knowingly goes ahead and he misses the Zman of Chatzot. Let me ask you guys, let's see how you guys got this whole pshat over here. A person goes ahead and he misses the Zman of Chatzot knowingly. He goes to a party, right? He goes to a wedding, right? If you ever went to a wedding, right after the wedding, immediately they do Arevit. You tell the guy, why don't you daven Arevit? No, I want to go grab my seat downstairs. I want to go start eating. Don't worry, I'll daven after when I come home. Yeah, but what time are you going to come home? It might be 1 o'clock. No, it might be 2 o'clock. Listen, when I come home, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I know myself. I say Shemar Esrei. I don't have to say it down. I have what to rely on, which is Rambam Gamliel. Fine. What did the Chachamim say? You have up until Chatzot. So you want to transgress the words of the Chachamim by going after Chatzot, and you're going to do it when? You want to do it after Chatzot. Fine. You know what this is called over here? You know what his punishment is? He's trying to do a mitzvah of Samech Chatam V'Kala, which he's still not going to start because Chatam V'Kala still didn't walk in. He is transgressing in the Avera from the Chachamim by not doing the Shema before Chatzot. And what's his punishment? Chayav Mitah. Hashem is going to punish him through death, Chas v'Shalom. For what, Rabotai? For transgressing the words of the Chachamim. One has to be very careful. When the Chachamim tell us something, we need to know to shut our mouths and not argue back in the Chachamim. And this, Rabotai, we see it too often today. When the Chachamim, you read for them a Shulchan Aruch, come on, Rabbi, Shulchan Aruch doesn't exist. Rabbi, stop, Rabbi. If you go ahead and you, whatever this swing of yours, what you did, if you go ahead now and you go against what the Chachamim said, knowingly it's asur, you should know your punishment is death. For what? All because you did not want to listen to what the Chachamim said. By Torah, a person shaves with a razor. A person eats bugs, he'll get lashes. Over here, you just have to listen to the Chachamim, and I don't want. Who's have to say bracha? I'll say Kriya Shema at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. What's the problem? I said I have what to rely on. No, yeah, you have what to rely on, but not lechatchila. A person goes ahead and he behaves this way, saying, "What do the rabbis' words mean? They don't mean nothing." Chayav Mitah. Can you imagine every time you go against the Chachamim, you're shortening your own life? Chas v'Shalom. Is it worth it? They're trying to prolong your life. And you're trying to shorten your life. It is crucial for us to know this line. V'chol ha'over al divrei chachamim chayav mitah. Anybody who transgresses the words of the chachamim, chayav mitah. Whenever you decide to go against the chachamim, whenever you decide you think that you know it all, find out if it's allowed or not allowed. A person, I'll give you another example. A person comes, it's not Rabotai, it might sound funny, it's not funny at all. A smart aleck comes to me, he says, Rabbi, it says, if a person says Shahakol Niyabadvara on anything, you are Yotzei, you fulfill your obligation, correct. So he says, why can't I just say Shahakol Niyabadvara on everything? It's very simple, because for every little thing, for every fruit, vegetable, whatever it's going to be, whatever you are eating, there are separate barachot. Yeah, but the Gemara clearly says, as we see also in Masechet Berachot Daf, anybody who says the bracha shahakol yibudvara on anything, you are yotzeh. Again, that's bidi evid. So you know what he says? He says, you know something, Rabbi? I'll tell you what, Rabbi. I'm going to show you. If you ask, tell me if this is bracha levatala or not. Watch this. He goes, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam borei. Oh no, my bad. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam shehakol yeh b'dvaro. And he eats it. He says, Rabbi, tell me, did I just now do a blessing in vain? I told him, absolutely not. Because you have what to rely on. But you should know what you did is worse right now. What happened? I said, now you're chayav mitah. Knowingly, you went there and you said, shakol, knowing that this is ha'adama. That, Rabotai, is chayav mitah. That's why we don't have to be so smart, like we learned in the previous Daf Dalet Amud Aleph, with Moshe Rabbeinu, where he said, I don't know. Rabotai, that's when you know, you say, I don't know. But when you really don't know, why try to show that you know? For what? Who are you trying to impress over here? Everything's going to be held against you. You know how they say over here? By the police, when they catch you, anything you say may be held against the court of law. Anything you say and do over here may be held against you in the higher court of law. Yes, it's going to be held against you. This world is not hefker. This world that we live in is not ownerless. There is a bill to pay for every little thing we do. Okay, Rabotai, I just wanted to bring that out. I don't think I emphasized it. I didn't clarify it as much as I did now. But I said to myself, that's the first thing I'm going to do when I start recording the Gemara class. So we see from over here, we have to be very, very careful with the words of the Chachamim and not to take it lightly. And when somebody does tell you, oh, the rabbis, show them this is the Gemara Daf amud bet, about what, maybe 10 lines in the middle. Ask him what is he going to do with this Gemara. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I have. About that, let's just start a small piece. I mean, I was supposed to start a little bit more, but let's just start a small piece today. We are continuing in the Gemara. The Gemara says, Amar Mar, Koreh Kriya Shema Umitpalal. Remember, once again, you see the language Amar Mar, the master said. That means once you see that, you have to remember that this is quoting something. It's going back to reference something that which we already did. Now I want to show you. If you remember in the previous Dapim, we were doing on the bottom, the Chacham Omrim, right? We had over here where we had to look back in the Mishnah. But if you pay close attention to what's going on now over here, it's a little bit different. Why? Because over here it doesn't say, it's not going back in the Mishnah. Amar Koreh Kriya Shema Mitpalel. He said, the master said, recite the Kriya Shema and downwards from the Esrei. Now we have to understand, where is this going on? Rabotai, remember, it's very simple. Whenever you see this language, it is referencing back to what you just had learned. We learned over here in the Baraita. Right? What did the Gemara say? Aval, however, Adam ba min hasadeh, if a person comes from the field, be'erev in the evening, nichnas the Beit HaKnesset, let him enter the Beit HaKnesset. Im ragil likrot koreh, if he's accustomed to reciting the Chumash, let him recite it. V'im ragil l'shno, if he's accustomed to learning Mishnah, let him learn Mishnah. Here we go. V'koreh Kriya Shema u'mitpalel. And he should recite the Kriya Shema and he should down from the Esrei. V'achel pitu u'mavarech. So the Gemara is telling you right now over here, Amar Mar Koreh Kriya Shema u'mitpalel is going on over here. V'koreh Kriya Shema u'mitpalel is going on these words right over here, okay? Again, you have to understand, when you start learning like this, you start picking up. It becomes much easier. You don't have to think, oh, what is going on? No, go back, which we just did it, and see what is going to what is the context, and come back over here, and then it'll be clear. Okay, remember, just like we did with Mishnayot, a lot of times you can also reference back to what you just learned in the Baraita. Okay. So the Gemara says, Amar Mar, the master said, Amar Mar, the master said, Koreh Kriya Shema Mitpalel. One should recite the Kriya Shema and he should daven Shemona Esrei. If we look into Rashi, Rashi says, Amar Mar Koreh Kriya Shema, Shel Aravit. Again, a run-on sentence with Rashi. Okay? Amar Mar Koreh Kriya Shema, Shel Aravit Tichila. You should first recite the Kriya Shema of Aravit, V'achar kach mitpalel, and only afterwards you're going to go ahead and daven Shemona Esrei. Continues the Gemara says, Messiah Leile Rabbi Yochanan. This is a support for Rabbi Yochanan. Dam Rabbi Yochanan, because Rabbi Yochanan said, Ezehu ben Olam Haba, who is considered to be a son of Olam Haba, meaning who is considered to get the world to come. זה הסומך גאולה לתפילה של ערבית. It is this one that brings the geula and he makes it closer to the tefillah of Arvit. Now I want to show you like this. We know Rashi is going to say that for Vikoshken the Shacharit, for sure when it's going to be Shacharit. Rashi says also for Shacharit, when you do geula tefillah. By Arvit there's an interruption of the bracha of Ashkivenu. Okay, I want to show you. Okay. We pay close attention over here. It says Hashkivenu, right? Watch this. See over here it says Hashkivenu. Rabotai, I realize that on the phone you can actually zoom in. If you can see, you can zoom in. Hashkivenu Avinu L'Shalom. Right before Hashkivenu Avinu, you have the bracha Baruch Ata Hashem Ga'al Yisrael. So comes the Gemara. The Gemara is going to say, how is this? How are you making the bracha of Geula? This is called the bracha of Geula, the bracha of redemption. How are you making the bracha of Geula closer to Shemona Esrei if you have interruptions over here, right? You have Hashkivenu, you have Kaddish, and so on and so forth. The Gemara is going to answer that. It's not a problem. But we don't want to focus on that right now. Right now what we want to focus on, Rabbi Yochanan is telling us, Ezu ben Olam Haba, who's considered to be a ben Olam Haba, Zeh Asumei Geula L'Tefillah Shel Arvit. Anybody who makes the Geula bracha to the tefillah of Arvit, of Amonai Tzvatat Tiftach, he says you consider to be Ben Olam Haba. Why am I saying this, Rabotai? Listen to this very carefully. In Shacharit, it's a little bit easier to understand, because over there it's Mamish Geula L'Tefillah. Right? Baruch Ata, one second. Baruch Ata Hashem, Ga'al Yisrael, Amonai Tzvatat Tiftach. Over here there's no interruption. That's what they say, once you finish Baruch Ata Hashem, Ga'al Yisrael, you should immediately begin Amonai Tzvatat Tiftach. Again, we'll see the Gemara is going to bring down that this is also a problem because it's not part of Shemona Esrei. This is Shemona Esrei, the bracha Baruch, but we'll see Rabotai everything. But I'm just trying to tell you right now, we want to bring a proof from what the Master has said in the Braita, Koreh Kriya Shema U'mitpalel. One should recite the Kriya Shema and then he should daven Shemona Esrei Avarvit. We want to say maybe this is a support for Rabbi Yochanan. Why is it support for Rabbi Yochanan? Because Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi had a machloket, and how do you go about and how do you recite the Shema? Meaning, do you say Shema and then the Berachot and then Shemona Esrei? Or no, maybe you're going to go ahead and you're going to say Shemona Esrei and then you're going to say the Shema with the Berachot. Shemona Esrei has nothing to do with the Berachot. The Berachot of Shema are for the Shema. It's not for Shemona Esrei. But the Geula L'Tefillah, making the Geula bracha, the redemption bracha, making it close to the tefillah bracha, is another thing. So this is the machlok between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Let's just try to see this inside. We'll delve into more Belineder tomorrow. I just want to get this out. Amar, the Master said, Koreh Kriyat Shema U'mitpalel. One should recite the Kriyat Shema and then he should daven Shemona Esrei of the evening. Messiah Leil Rabbi Yochanan. So we said that this word of the Master is his support for Rabbi Yochanan. The Amar Rabbi Yochanan, because Rabbi Yochanan said, Ezu ben ha'olam haba, who is considered to be a ben olam haba, zeh ha'somer geula l'tefillah shel Arvit. This is the one who makes the geula bracha of Ga'al Yisrael closer to the tefillah of Shemona Esrei of Arvit. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Rabbi Yeshua the son of Levi says, no, tefillot be'emtza tiknum. The Shemona Esreis, they were instituted in the middle. Meaning, we'll see Rashi, meaning say like this. First is Shacharit in the morning, then is the Shacharit Tefillah, meaning Shemona Esrei, then is the Mincha Shemona Esrei, then it's Arvit Shemona Esrei, and then only you have Shacharit of Shema. So it's, not Shacharit, Arvit of Shema. So it's basically, it will be like this. Let's do it like this. Alright, let's do it like this. And let's do this. I'm like this. This is the morning Shema. This is the evening Shema. In between are the three Shemona Esreis. That means a person is going to say Shema in the morning, then he's going to daven Shemona Esrei, of Shacharit, then he's going to daven Shemona Esrei of Mincha, then he's going to daven Shemona Esrei of Aravit, and only then he's going to say Shema of Aravit. So you see how it goes. The tefillot that were instituted in between, meaning between the two Shemas. Rabotai, we're going to conclude over here, because B'ezrat Hashem, as you guys can see, the Rashi, you see the orange over here, this is the whole Rashi. For understanding this whole business of Somech, right? One who makes the Geula closer to the tefillah, B'ezrat Hashem, we will see that in the following class. But we saw a very important concept today. And then we also brought down now, this one the master said on top in the Braita, maybe it's more of a support for Rabbi Yochanan that he is correct, that the proper order is to say Shema first, and then daven Shemona Esrei. And not like Rabbi Shua ben Levi, that said, no, you're going to first say Shema, then you're going to daven the 3 Shemona Esrei, and then you're going to say Shema. Maybe we have a good support for Rabbi Yochanan. Rabotai, have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.